On October the 6th, 2024, one of my clients took on Ironman Barcelona. He had never raced an Ironman before, and he had been plagued by stomach issues, even during shorter races. Plus, he had some injuries which were stopping him from training as much as he would like. So I had a challenge on my hands. Take someone who had struggled with their stomach and their nutrition during Olympic distance triathlons, all the way to completing their first Ironman.
Like prior to us working together, I've always had just such bad, always bad gut issues, during the race.
Every race was the same story. Train hard, prepare well, and then watch it all unravel because of stomach problems. And here's the thing, he isn't alone. I see this pattern repeatedly with triathletes. They'll spend thousands on the latest gear, countless hours perfecting their training, but somehow nutrition becomes an afterthought. So in this video, I wanted to break down how I approached my clients' nutrition to give you insight into the sort of things you need to focus on and a framework for doing this. My client was a wonderful guy called Nathan, and he had found me through this YouTube channel. He reached out to me by email and asked for some help with his nutrition. I remember when we first started speaking together and thinking there was a lot riding on this. He had his race booked. He wanted to do well, but it was clear that his nutrition and his stomach had always limited him from getting where he wanted to be. And things came to a head during a training camp in Lanzarote when Nathan injured himself.
And I had a stack and I fell into some lava rocks, literally, and I got scanned, meniscus issue. So yeah, I'd done no running, pretty much.
This upped the stakes even more, meaning that we had to make sure his nutrition was perfect to support his recovery back to running while allowing him to properly fuel his training sessions. And Nathan wasn't someone who had heaps of free time to focus on his nutrition either. He had a full-time job, a busy life, and was fitting in his Ironman training alongside this. And at the time we started working together, we only had 4 months to get it right. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Most triathletes think nutrition is just about what you eat on race day. But Nathan's transformation started months before the race. We broke it down into 3 crucial phases. I still remember Nathan's reaction after his first properly fueled long ride. The excitement in his voice when he realized he could train harder, longer, and actually enjoy it.
I mean, I've said this to you so many times on the calls, but how much better you are in training because you've got the right fuel, how much better you feel, in terms of how much more I enjoyed it as well. I mean, you're going out for a 5-hour training ride, feeling like you're pushing it and feeling, fit is that you enjoy doing it.
I can't explain how important this is and what a significant change Nathan went through. One of the things I wanted to focus on was to improve Nathan's fueling during his training sessions. After analyzing his diet, I noticed Nathan was underfueling his critical sessions, and this meant he was running out of energy towards the end of his training, and this was impacting his future sessions too. So I got him to start fueling more aggressively, slowly pushing up his carbohydrate intake to support those brutal hours out on the bike. And this can be a crazy shift in terms of performance from both a physical and mental point of view.
When you beforehand going for a long ride and I'm dragging myself over every centimeter of pavement in order to do it, I just don't want to do it. It honestly it's been definitely the biggest single impact on my race.
And so by improving his training sessions and increasing his fueling, this had 2 big benefits. He was starting to get close to his actual race nutrition strategy, and he was enjoying his training, which led to better consistency too. But one of the things that I wanted to do with Nathan was really give him a chance to explore different strategies and feel in control of his nutrition. Every training session became an opportunity to dial in his race day strategy.
I mean, we took a really scientific approach with the nutrition, right? Which is something that I wouldn't have even considered. It was hey, when you've got plenty of time to prepare, let's try things out.
So some of the factors that we strategically worked on were things like the precise timing of his carbohydrates, his hydration strategy, as well as his caffeine strategy. Nathan had had problems in the past with caffeine. He knew it could help him perform well, but he was also sensitive to it, which meant we needed to explore his limits during training to see whether he could safely fit it into his race day nutrition plan.
And I think that was the issue, is that, you know, I'd had these few rides where I just felt unstoppable when we started working together, and we got like the carbs right. I was like, I can, mate, put me in a treadmill, I'll you know, run this thing into the ground. And then we had a couple of those rides where like I felt really gassed. And I think the benefit of trialing things out is you can isolate what it is.
Because the truth is that this isn't always plain sailing. There are problems you need to work through, adjustments to the strategy that you have to make. Nathan had several rides where he felt a bit jittery, and after eliminating other causes, it was likely that he had had too much caffeine in too short a time frame. So we changed his caffeine strategy for his next ride, spaced it out further, but consumed the same total amount of caffeine. And that really made a difference to him. And he felt strong, energized, without any of the caffeine-based side effects. This is all part of the build-up to race day, and why it's crucial to thoroughly test the different parts of your strategy before the big day. You want to be confident in your plan well before the race, so that your fueling feels second nature and not like you're still trying to make changes and adjustments right until the end. And this links to perhaps the biggest transformation, and it was psychological. Nathan went from dreading race nutrition to feeling confident about his strategy, including crucial components like carbohydrate loading and his race day breakfast.
I find it a lot more comfortable when you've got a plan. Like, you wake up, you don't have to worry about stuff. It's like, oh, cool, I know this is what I do. This is part of it, you know?
This is something that is incredibly undervalued by triathletes. Going into your race day with complete confidence in your plan, knowing how you'll execute it, how you'll manage if things don't quite go as intended, and what your backups are. It's so important. It means you can actually focus on the day, the atmosphere, and racing to the best of your ability. If not, you'll always have that seed of doubt in your mind that you haven't quite done things properly. Have I eaten enough? Have I eaten too much? What if I lose my nutrition on the bike? How will I cope? These are the stresses that a proper nutrition plan removes, leaving you free to focus on the race. But of course, the real test came on race day itself. Now remember, this was someone who previously struggled with Olympic distance races, attempting an Ironman with limited run training. The result?
If I could have that experience every single time I do an Ironman, I'd sign the contract and go, boom. If we could just do that consistently, happy days. But honestly, from a nutrition perspective, absolutely not. I genuinely could not have done, like, it could not have been better. It was bang on. I felt, you know, confident going in. I felt energized throughout the entire thing. It was the perfect amount to keep me going, but not like upset my stomach.
But here's what really stands out. Nathan didn't just finish. He absolutely smashed it. He completed his first Ironman in 12 hours and 13 minutes, and he ran the entire marathon, despite significant limitations with running during his training. And even more importantly, he enjoyed it.
You put your bike in transition, you have a bit of a chat with yourself and go off. The marathon, is it? Yeah, sure. And then, ran out, saw them, got a hug, and then I started running, and I like slowly just kind of built into it, and I was like, oh, actually my knee feels good. And then I was stoked. Honestly, I couldn't believe how much I enjoyed that run, given that I hadn't been able to do more than 15 Ks worth of running in one go.
And this is the sort of outcome I want for any triathlete doing an Ironman. It's not just about finishing it, although of course that's important. It's about finishing it and feeling proud of yourself, regardless of the time it takes you, whether that's 10 hours or 16. Being able to cross that finish line and say, bloody hell, I was brilliant. That's the goal. But this story isn't just about one successful Ironman finish. As impressive an achievement Nathan's race was, it's about a fundamental truth in endurance sports that too many athletes ignore.
I'd be really interested to know what percentage of athletes have put an actual focus on nutrition, because it must pale in comparison in terms of what people put focus on the actual pursuits and like strength training even, you know what I mean? But like you said, it literally doesn't matter if your stomach is messed up, but you're able to, your FTP's 450, it won't matter. None of that matters because you've fucked your stomach.
And he is totally right. You can have the best training plan, the most expensive bike, and perfect race conditions. But if your nutrition isn't dialed in, then none of that matters. So here are my key lessons for what every triathlete can learn from Nathan's journey. Nutrition isn't just about race day. It's about enabling quality training. Testing and preparation are crucial. You can't wing it on race day. Having a clear plan builds confidence, reducing race day stress. The right nutrition strategy can overcome even significant training limitations. Nathan finished his first Ironman in just over 12 hours. An impressive time for anyone, let alone someone who could barely run in training. He loved the experience and felt strong throughout it, and he echoes what so many people say about Ironman racing.
It's probably the best community based around an activity that I've come across. Everyone is just so hyped, even the spectators, and I think that's the thing, is that you get down and these people aren't even racing, but they've seen what the people that they know that are racing have been through, and they can feel that for other people.
Nathan's journey was one of the key reasons for me creating The Hub, my nutrition membership for triathletes. I help triathletes just like Nathan to perfect their training and race nutrition. And you can find more information about how you can join by clicking the link in the comments or description section of this video. But if you aren't quite ready for that, then that's cool too. You can check out this video here for a deep dive into Ironman race nutrition.